Alright, 1 second. Make sure my audio good. If y'all can hear me online, put a 1 in the chat. You can hear me online, put a 1 in the chat. One second. Testing. All right, bet. All right. Shalom, Israel, the Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge, out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We dig into these Bibles and we dig into the records of Israel, and we give the truth back to our people, because for so many years our oppressor has stolen this Bible. For so many years our oppressor has took this Bible and enslaved us with it mentally and physically. For so many years our oppressor has took this Bible and gave us ghettos, gave us religion, break off religions like Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, so many different things that they pull from this Bible, and it grows and it becomes something totally different than what it was. For instance, the spirit of Christ, or Christ himself, is snatched, and they believe that Muhammad was Christ. You feel what I'm saying? In the Islam community. Um, the stories that they tell in Islam is just, it's watered down versions of what the Bible is. That's exactly what religion is. And for us as Blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans, we need to know that these religions or these philosophies that they create are stories that come from our fathers, our forefathers, our mothers, our brothers, our uncles, our great grandfathers. You feel what I'm saying? The men that taught us how to be strong. People take those records and they create things that take over the world with it. So what we're gonna do, find out who these men were, what made them so great. And the thing about that is that's exactly what make you so great. Because these brothers we read about in the Bible, they you. They us. You feel what I'm saying? It behooved Christ to be like his brethren. Slocky, give me 1 second. I gotta turn on the AC. Give me 1 second. Slocky. It's getting hot. All right. So it behooved Christ to be like his brethren. So we're gonna read about what Christ did, the miracles of Christ. We're gonna read about the steps that Christ took, and you know what I'm saying, how he done it, how he did the things he did, what made him so great, what made him a brother that we all want to look up to, what made him a brother that we look to and say, well, goddamn, you know what I'm saying? This brother, the Lord has to be with him, because we know that the Lord with us. We know the Lord is with us, but the Lord, he's closer to the Most High. He has to be some kind of like, he has to be something different, because we do the work of the Lord, but sometimes we see things done like Commander and YAHANNA. Like, we know that we we do this work, but Commander and YAHANNA, the things that he do is absolutely amazing. You know what I'm saying? We see captains and generals do things that are just absolutely amazing. That has to be the Lord, and we know the Lord is with us as young officers. But these brothers that we see every day, the Lord is absolutely with them. They're closer to the Lord than we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, Christ was one of them brothers. When the disciples saw Christ, they say he has to be something else. You feel what I'm saying? So we're gonna read about Christ and the things that he did and the miracles that he did that people just saw and they just was like, this is insane. So we're gonna start off with John chapter 2, verse 1. We'll go to John chapter 2, verse 1. This probably one of the first things that he did. You know what I'm saying? To shock the people. I'm trying to keep the Christianity off it, because as people that grow up in America, we grow up with the Christianity, and so we believe that, he's Christ is angelic, or Christ is something other than a man. Christ was a man, but the spirit that Christ had was so strong, the faith that Christ had was so strong that the Lord just made the things happen. You feel what I'm saying? Because he was showing the people who the Most High was. He was showing the people that the Most High was real, and he was proving it through the things that he did. Just how we see camp speakings and we see things happen at camp, we didn't see amazing things happen at camp because we proven that the Most High is real, and the Lord just showed the people that he's real. The one guy at camp, this was in DC, the brother said, or the person said, if God is real, strike me down right now. And the Lord struck him down. Go watch that video on DC. The Lord struck down Edomite. He said, if God is real right now, strike me down. Strike me down. And within the next 2 minutes, he was on the ground. You know what I mean? And I think Captain Mashak was teaching. And that brother, Salaki, Cap, is powerful. You know what I'm saying? So we see the spirit of the Lord move in these times today. We see how powerful the Lord can be. And the Lord was always, he's never changed. So we see the power that these men wielded to today. We can see it in the Bible. It's no different than it was so many years ago. Christ will tell him, put the net on the side of the boat. And he's like, yo, Christ, we've been doing it all day long. We've been fishing all night, all day. And he said, just put the net down on the side of the boat. And they put the net down and they picked the net up, and it was too many fish. The boat almost went underwater. Christ just had a spirit. Christ just had faith. You feel what I'm saying? Christ was able to pray to the Most High and ask it to be done, and it would be done. You feel what I'm saying? Because he prayed to the Most High, and he never wanted recognition. Whenever he was done doing his whatever he did, he was off in the woods praying to the Most High. He didn't want the recognition, and that's why he's so powerful. That's why he's so great, because he's not like, yeah, you know, I fed them with fish and I made sure. Nah, he ain't do none of that. As soon as they ate, he was gone. They're like, who was that brother? That he gone. He don't want your money. He don't want your recognition. He don't want your thanks. He don't want your thanksgiving. Christ just want to make sure you good and you know the Most High. And that's what we had to do as priests and officers in the I.S.U.P.K. We had to make sure that you know who the Lord is. And if you Black, Hispanic, and Native American, you know that the Lord belongs to you. The Lord made you to represent him on earth. That's your job. So we're gonna go ahead to chapter 2, verse 1. All right. Matthew chapter 2, verse 1 reads, in the third day there was a marriage in the Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Yahushua was there, and both Yahushua was called and his disciples to the marriage. So it's a marriage going on, and Christ and his disciples was called to this marriage. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Yahushua said unto him, they have no wine. So then she came to Christ, was like, yo, they ain't got no more wine, right? Follow me. Yahushua said unto her, woman, what have I to do with thee? Mine hour is not yet. He like, why you telling me? I don't got nothing to do with that. My time ain't come yet. Like, you know what I could do, but nobody else know what I could do, right? His mother said unto his servants, right? The people that was there to serve him, or the people that was there to listen to him, right? Whatsoever he saith unto you, do it. So maybe the people that's serving the wine at the party, right? Or his disciples. People that's right now, we're going off of what we know. I'm teaching you how to read this Bible. We're going off of what we know. So the people that was there to serve, the people that was there to cater to the wedding, the mother said, whatever he's saying to you, do it. Right? Verse 6. And there were set there 6 water pots of stone, after the manner of the purifying of the Jews, containing 2 or 3 firkins apiece. So it was 6 water pots, right? And it had something in each water pot, right? Yahushua said unto them, fill those water pots, fill the water pots with water. And they filled them unto the brim. And he said unto, verse 8, and he said unto them, draw out now, and bear unto the governor of the feast. And they bear it. So he said, all right, fill those pots with water, and then put a cup or a spoon or a ladle in there and bring it to the governor, right? This is John chapter 2, verse 9. When the ruler of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine, and knew not whence it was, but the servants withdrew the water new. So the person knew that they was out of wine. The governor knew they was out of wine. So now when he drank this cup, he's like, yo, where y'all get this wine from? right? He don't know where the wine comes from. But the people that gave it to him knew where the wine came from. They like, damn. So they just watching this happen in front of their face, right? The governor of the feast called the bridegroom, verse 10, and saith unto him, every man at the beginning doth set forth good wine, and when men have well drunk, then which is worse. But thou hast kept the good wine unto now. So what he said was, most people they set their good wine out first, and then when everybody's drunk, they bring out the bottom of the barrel. They bring out the Akium. You know what I'm saying? The old stuff. We're gonna put the tequila out first, and everybody gonna be drunk. Then we're gonna bring out the cognac. Like, we're gonna bring out the whiskey, the gin. That's gonna come out. When we get done this Casamigo, then we could drink whatever's left in the bar. Y'all go ahead, knock yourself. Y'all could drink the Manischewitz, knock yourself out. You feel what I'm saying? But he's saying right now, I'm gonna read it again in verse 10. And saith unto him, every man that doth set forth good wine, everybody that put their good wine out, and when men have well drunk, then that which is worse. So everybody, y'all know, they bring the good wine out first, everybody get drunk, then they bring out the bad wine, right? But he said, but thou hast kept the good wine unto now. So when he drunk this wine, he like, damn, this wine good as hell. This wine better than the first wine you put out. Like, I mean, most people would give us the bad wine later, which means the water that Christ made into wine was excellent wine. It was it wasn't just Manischewitz. You feel what I'm saying? It wasn't just, you know what I mean, new wine as they call it, or just Mad Dog. You feel what I'm saying? This wine was delectable. This wine was tasty. This wine had some flavor to it. It was some volume in it, right? Verse 11. This beginning of miracles did Yahushua in Cana of Galilee and manifested forth his glory, and his disciples believed on him, right? So we're gonna skip around a couple different John Christ. This book is full of them. You feel what I'm saying? We're gonna skip around to a couple good ones that I want y'all to see. But this is the first one that Christ ever did, right? So you know what I'm saying? He had water. You feel what I'm saying? His mother was like, yo, can you turn this water into wine? And he like, Mom, you drunk. I mean, Mom, Mom, I can't do that. I mean, like, Mom, my time ain't come yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm a young man. I'm a trooper in this work. And you asking me to do, you know what I mean, things that great men have done. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all young men in this truth, y'all are absolutely capable to do the things that officers of 5,000 do, captains do. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all are absolutely capable, but it starts here. You feel what I'm saying? You got to know and believe in the spirit of the Most High that you can do it. Because how do we become officers? How do we become high-ranking men? By following the Lord, by following the men above us, by doing the orders that was given to us. That's how we became who we are. You do the work. You feel what I'm saying? That don't make you no different than you was as a young man. You learn, you get stronger, and you become baptized. You become absolutely different in the spirit of the Lord. So Christ was already able to do these things as a young man. But as he get older, you get maturation, you get skill, you get seasoning, and you know when to do it. Yeah, turning water into wine was a miracle, but it held no weight. You understand what I'm saying? He went to a wedding and just turned water into wine. You feel what I'm saying? As you get older, you find out what you're doing these things for. This really wasn't for the Most High. This was something that he did that people saw and was like, yo, he different. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's something that we talk about at the party. Like, yo, remember he turned water into wine? Like, that was crazy. That was a miracle. That was something that nobody ever seen happen before. That's who Christ was. Christ had that much faith. You feel what I'm saying? He said, put water in those pots and pour the water out, put it in a cup and give it to the governor. That's faith. You feel what I'm saying? Because like I said, you did that, or I did that. There might be some place in your mind where you know that that's just water, not Christ. You feel what I'm saying? Christ knew that water was gonna be good wine, because Christ. We're gonna get into all of that. You feel what I'm saying? Let's drop that. Give me Matthew chapter 8, verse 23. Matthew chapter 8, verse 23. You know what I mean? Christ was the quickening spirit. He was the bread that we need. This roll, you ain't never gonna be hungry no more when you eat this roll. So lock in Matthew chapter 8, verse 23. All right. It's the book of Matthew chapter 8, verse 23. And when he was Salakia, let's mm, 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 mm. All right, this is after a lot. Like the whole just after a lot. So it's just like back to back at this point. So mm, let's start at verse 18. Uh this is Matthew chapter 8, verse 18. Now when Yahushua saw great multitudes about him, he gave commandments to depart unto the other side. And a certain scribe came and said unto him, Master, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. And Yahushua said unto him, the foxes have holes, and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man hath nowhere to lay his head. And another of his disciples said unto him, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. But Yahushua said unto him, follow me and let the dead bury the dead. Right? Y'all familiar with that? So now, and when he was entered into the ship, his disciples followed him. So he like, don't worry about them. Just we out. Right? So when he entered the ship, his disciples followed him. And behold, there arose a great tempest in the sea. Tempest is like a storm. So imagine like a hurricane or like a rainstorm or something like that. Behold, there arose a great tempest in the sea, and so much that the sea was covered with waves, but he was asleep, right? So the sea get crazy. They on the boat, Christ knocked out, and they see a storm coming, right? And his disciples came into him and awoke him, saying, Lord, save us, we perish. So they come to Christ like, yo, Christ, yo, wake up. We about to die out here. Do you see that storm? Right? And I'm giving it to y'all in this context because this is how you can understand that the Bible is real and it's applicable to today's time, right? We see the Bible as, words, old English is ookie spooky. Most people can't understand it, but you can absolutely understand it. Just translate it. Translate it into how you speak. Now, when I say what I say, this is how I would speak, even though we well educated, beyond educated, but this is how we speak where we're from. So learning how to understand the Bible, first thing I do is learn how to translate it into your vernacular, right? So we're going to go to verse 25 again. And his disciples came unto him and awoke him, saying, Lord, save us, we perish. And he said unto them, verse 26, and he said unto them, why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith? Right? So he said unto the disciples, like, what you scared for? Like, you don't believe in the Lord? You don't think that the Lord gonna save you? You think that you doing the Lord's work, and the Lord gonna let you die in some hurricane. You doing the Most High's work. He trying to spread this word into Judea and Galilee and all of these places. And he gonna let you die in some storm? You think the Lord gonna let you die in some storm when you doing his work? Who else doing the work of the Lord? It's you. It's your job. You waking up these black, Spanish, and Native Americans. You think them bullets gonna take you out? You think them drugs gonna come get you? You think child support gonna wipe you out? You think those small things that Esau got set up is gonna take you out the game? Or some storm that Satan sent, or some storm that the Most High sent gonna take you out the game? Read it. We're gonna read it again. Verse 26. And he saith unto them, why are ye fearful? Are ye of little faith? Right? Then he arose and rebuked the winds in the sea, and there was a great calm. So Christ woke up. He was like, all right, I got you, man. Watch out. right? And he did his thing, right? Now, we ain't gonna go into it, but there's scriptures in here that prove that it's angels in the storm. So Christ spoke to the angel or the spirit in the storm, right? This is when you get into spiritual knowledge. Because at this point, you can't be no carnal man. You can't be worried about bills. You can't be worried about gas money. You can't be worried about your job in the morning. At this point in time, you can't be worried about simple things that we got to deal with every day, like kids and your bread. You feel what I'm saying? And the small things of hungry or whatever the case may be. At this point in time, none of those things matter because Christ is now speaking into a whole nother, a whole nother dimension. He's speaking into spirits that control storms. You feel what I'm saying? He's speaking to. Matter of fact, let's pull it. Let's pull it. I mean, I don't want y'all to leave here without this knowledge. You gonna pull it? Give me 1 second. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Um, got a couple. Let's go. We're gonna get two of them. Let me get a good two. Let's go Jeremiah 23 and 19. Hold Matthew chapter 8, verse 20, wherever he's at, 26. We're gonna go to Jeremiah 23 and 19 real quick. And then after that, we're gonna go to Job 37 and 1. All right. All right. Jeremiah 23 and 19. All right, it's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 19. Behold, a whirlwind of the Lord is gone forth in fury, even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked, and the anger of the Lord shall not return until he have executed, until he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it perfectly. Right? So as we read in Jeremiah, the whirlwind is of the Lord. And that whirlwind meaning a cyclone, if you will, a hurricane or a tornado or a storm. You know what I mean? Most rainstorms follow a pattern or a band. You know what I'm saying? Or derecho, which is like a straight line storm. Most of these whirlwinds are of the Lord because the Lord, a wind in Hawaii can cause a Katrina in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Or a wind in Africa, a gust of wind come by in the Sahara Desert and wipe Miami off the map. You feel what I'm saying? When he asked Esdras to measure a blast of wind, where does the wind come from and where does the wind go? We don't know where the wind come from or where the wind goes. You know what I'm saying? I believe that's in Ezra chapter 4 when he asked him to weigh fire and how much the wind measure the wind and how many islands is out in the sea. You feel what I'm saying? We don't know where the wind come from or where the wind go, but at some point that wind gonna cause damage over there because that's the spirit of the Lord. We don't know where that come from. That's the angel that just breathes by you. Everything works. The sun is working, the moon is working, the wind is working. Nothing takes a day off. You know what I'm saying? Everything has work. Everything has work to do, just like we do. The wind is working. The whirlwinds are working. The sun is working. The moon is working. The stars is working. The earth is working. Everything is working constantly, 24/7. That's how the Most High got it set up. You feel what I'm saying? All right, so we're gonna drop that real quick. We're gonna get Job 37 and 1. Book of Job, chapter 37, verse 1. All right. And this also my heart trembleth, and is moved out of place. Hold on, let me make sure. Let me make sure this is it. Yeah, this is it. Moved out of place. Hear attentively the noise of his voice and the sound that goeth out of his mouth. He directeth it under the whole earth, and his lightning unto the ends of the earth. After a voice roareth, his thundereth with the voice of his excellency, and he will it's like it, and he will not stay them when his voice is heard. God thundereth, or the Most High thundereth marvelously with his voice. Great things doeth he, which we cannot comprehend. For he saith to the snow, be thou on the earth. Likewise the small rain and the great rain of his strength. He sealeth the hands of every man, that all men may not know his work. Right? So the Most High say to the snow, go to Boston, and Boston is smitten, right? But it's nothing that we could do about it. That's why I say the Most High say our hands are tied. You can't block the snow. You can't stop the snow from coming, or stop a hurricane, or stop the rain. There's nothing we could do about it. When the Lord send a rainstorm or a snowstorm or whatever type of storm, we just deal with it. Ain't nothing you could do about it. Which is why these men were so scared. We're gonna go back to Matthew. Which is why these men were so scared. They in the middle of the ocean or middle of the water, whatever sea they on, and the storm is coming, and you in some little boat. So you like, oh man, oh my God, we about to die. So you go to talk to Christ, like, yo, Christ, Salak, you go talk to the captain or the general, like, Salak here. Look at this storm. The storm, we about to die in the storm. And Christ wake up, just check them. Oh, you ain't got no faith? Oh, you scared of some storm. No sweat. And then he walked over to the storm and calmed the seas, calmed the storm. That right there, brother, that's a miracle. Like, to see a brother calm a storm at that point in time, I would say, oh yeah, he different. Oh yeah, oh yeah. He's somebody that I'm following. He's somebody that I'm sticking around. And it's absolutely brothers like that in this truth. Absolutely brothers. You see them do things and you like, the Lord is absolutely with them. Because we see things done every day, and there's no way that they can be done except that the Lord was with them. You feel what I'm saying? So as we see these brothers moving, as we see these brothers grow and become stronger men, just know that the Lord is with them. Because no other way can they do the things that they do. You know what I mean? All right, so where's we at? 1 second. All right, verse 26. And he saith unto them, why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith? Then he arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. But the men marveled, saying, what manner of man is this? That's what like, they like, yo, who is bull? They like, this guy right here, he's not, we follow him because we strong. He's stronger. We got faith. He has more faith. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we know the truth, but he knows more of the truth, which is why we as young men follow the men above us, because they know more than we do. Like, you might be trying to break down some scripture in your mind, and you go talk to a man above you, and he do it in 30 seconds. And you like, dang, I ain't even look at it like that. That's why they here. Because they've broken down millions of scriptures. They've talked to millions of people like you. You feel what I'm saying? They dealt with millions of spirits that's on you. The same spirit they seen it 1,000 times. It's not you, brother. It's the spirit that's on you. It's the demon that's on you. They done dealt with that demon 1,000 times. You feel what I'm saying? They know that demon don't outrank this person. This captain, this 5,000, this 1,000, this 500, this 50, this trooper. That demon don't outrank them. This general, he don't outrank them. So they dealt with this demon. He out of there. 30 seconds, he break down the scripture for you. You feel what I'm saying? That's the Lord. And that's what the men in the I.S.U.P.K do. All right, so verse 27 again, we're gonna get this out of here. But the men marvel, saying, what manner of man is this? That even the winds and the sea obey him. Like, brother, Christ was different. We're gonna get into this, like these stories of Christ. Reading about Christ is gonna solidify your journey in the truth. It's going to solidify your walk as an officer or as a man in the ISUPK, a trooper, or whatever your situation is, because you're going to want to get stronger. You're going to want to follow men like this. You're going to want to see these men and say, Salakia, that's my captain. You feel what I'm saying? That brother right there is a brother that we're going to follow. We're going to back him, because what man could come to see? That's my general. That man right there, he's absolutely incredible. The things that he's done, no man could do. Like, get us out of the street, get us out of jail, get us off of crack and stop selling crack. You feel what I'm saying? Illegal guns, illegal activity. Get us out of our heads. What I mean, most people die at. Get us from under that woman that we with, which most people they fall victim to. Get us from under these children that oppress us because they so sweet, they so lovable. These children are they so innocent. Nah, brother. Them children is oppressing us, which is why we celebrate Christmas and Halloween and Thanksgiving. It's the children. You want to make sure that they have fun. They have a good time. We go into debt 20 times over for the children. Nah, brother. We listen to men like Commander General YAHANNA, General Mahayman, General Haas, General Q, General Shamar. You feel what I'm saying? General Katham. Those men. Strong men. You feel what I'm saying? Men is going to get us out of our hell, fix us up, brush us off, put us on the street and teach our people. Those the men that we follow. Christ, the Lord. You feel what I'm saying? So we're going to drop that. This brother talked to the storm. You know what I mean? You want to go there, drop that, get John chapter 6, verse 3. All right. Once again, if you're just tuning in, these are a couple just a brief bit of the few miracles that Christ did in his short time of work. You know what I mean, on the earth. We're gonna get Salakia. I'm in Luke. John chapter 6, verse 3. All right. It's the book of John, chapter 6, verse 3. Let's start at hold on. All right, we're gonna start at 6 and 1. John chapter 6, verse 1. After these things, Yahushua went over the seas of Galilee, which is the sea of Tiberias. And the great multitude followed him, because they saw his miracles, which he did on them that were diseased, right? So mind you, these is like at this point, it's just back to back to back to back to back. And these brothers with him are just recording the things they see. So at this point, he probably 5 miracles in. He probably in 5 things in. And now people is following him. They in the truth now, allegedly. They like, okay, we're gonna follow this brother right here. So he has a great multitude following him. Right? It's not something that he wanted, but something that happened. The Lord made it happen. Right? Because if you read Christ, every time he did something amazing, he would disappear somewhere, right? He would disappear into the woods or into the wilderness somewhere, right? So verse 2, and a great multitude followed him, because they saw his miracles, which he did on them that were diseased. Verse 3, and Yahushua went into the mountains, and there he sat with his disciples. So mind you, he would always disappear. He would spin off somewhere, and he would be somewhere alone by himself with his disciples. He didn't sulk in the glory, right? Verse 4, and the Passover, the feast of the Jews, was nigh. So this was around January, February, March. You feel what I'm saying? Somewhere around there, April, close to the feast of the Passover, right? When Yahushua was lifted up his eyes and saw a great company coming to him. So you're like, oh man, look at that, right? Philip, Philip, whence shall we buy bread that these may eat? So now he see them, you're like, oh man, where we gonna buy bread from so they can eat, right? And this he said to prove him, for he himself knew what he would do. Mind you, Christ was on point. When he spoke about I don't know if this in this John, but when we spoke about Judas, he said the person that I'm gonna get his bag to, I know who gonna betray me. Right? He said the person I'm gonna get his sop to, and he gave him the sop, and he was like, do it quickly. They didn't know what he was talking about, but Christ knew that that's the brother that's gonna betray him. And he said, do it quickly. They think he talking about go do whatever he supposed to do quickly. Christ talking about, nah, I know you about to line me up. Just 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 do it. You feel what I'm saying? Christ knew what was going on before it even happened, right? So now in this case, Philip, right? He's like, when shall we buy bread that these may eat? And this he said to prove him, for he himself knew that he would what he would do. Philip answered him, 200 pennyworth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may take a little. One of the disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said unto him, there is a lad here, which is a little bit, right? There's a lad here which have five barley loaves and two small fishes. But what are they among so many? So like, yo, we got a little bit of bread and two little fishes. It's a great multitude out there. There's no way we're gonna feed all these people, right? They forgot what he was talking to. Verse 10. And Christ said, make them sit down, right? Now there was much grass in the place. So the men sat down, in the number about 5,000. So now Christ, like, all right, whoever want to eat, tell them to sit down. That's how you know who's ready to eat, who's ready to receive this bread. And 5,000 men is out there. That's like a small concert, or that's like hmm, let's just say a small concert. You know what I'm saying? A gathering of people in a certain town, like a small city somewhere, right? 5,000 people, right? Verse 11. And Yahushua took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to them that were sat down, and likewise of fishes, as much as they would, right? So they just they bust they breaking it down and giving it to the people, right? As much as they wanted. When they were filled, he said unto his disciples, gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. Verse 13. Therefore they gathered them together and filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves, which remained over and above unto them that had eaten. So now they break this bread down. It's 5,000 people there. They give everybody enough so they can eat and be full. And he said, when you get done, just grab everything that's left over. It was 12 baskets of bread left over. Like, come on, man. He fed 5,000 men with not enough food and had 12 baskets of bread left over. Let's keep reading, right? And those men, verse 14, and those men, when they had seen the miracle that Yahushua did, said, this is of the truth, that prophet should come down into the world. This is of the Most High. This is of the Lord. This proves this man right here is the priest and prophet of the Lord, right? This man right here, they prophesied that he would come. He's here because he's doing miracles that we ain't never seen done. Like, to us, we see these happen often, things that we consider miracles, things that we see, and it's only the Lord could do that. But we don't give it the same magnitude because we don't give the Lord his props. We don't give the Lord his glory. So we don't know that that's the Lord doing that. Like, if you hungry and you just happen to find $20 in your pocket, that's the Lord. The Lord made sure you got that $20. But us, we're gonna be like, oh yeah, you know what? Damn, that day I'm glad I did that. Nah. The Lord put that $20 in your pocket because he gonna make sure you eat today. Or when you don't got no gas and somebody pull up beside you that you know. I mean, one time I had a rough night and I was tired. I fell asleep on the highway. And the brother Malakia, shout out to Malakia in Philly. You know what I'm saying? He knocked on my window. I had just left Malakia. He went to wherever he went. And I pulled up on the highway and I went to sleep. and I hear a knock on the window. It's Malakia, and I look up, and I'm like, damn, like that was the Lord. That was the Most High sending His angel to protect me, because that could have been Esau at that window. That could have been a Jack boy or Jamie boy at that window. Somebody could have robbed me at that window. Anybody could have knocked on that window, but the Lord knocked on that window. You dig what I'm saying? Like when we see the small things and we thinking it's just, oh, that's just nah, brother. That's the Lord making sure you good. The Lord made sure these 5,000 people was good because they was working for Him. They was doing His work. They was making sure that everybody heard this truth. So the Lord fed all of them with 2 loaves of bread through Christ. We're gonna keep going, right? All right, we're gonna keep going. Verse 15. When Yahushua therefore perceived that they would come and take him by force, so he like, oh damn, they all. So now let's read this again. Verse 14. Those men, when they had seen the miracle that Christ did, said, "This is of a truth that prophet, it's like this is of a truth that prophet that should come into the world." They're like, this is him, right? So verse 15. When Yahweh therefore perceived that they would come to take him by force to make him a king, he departed again into the mountains himself alone. Salagia. So okay, how can I put this? He saw them trying to give him a title. He saw him trying to give him his props, but he denied it, right? The props go to the Lord. And if y'all familiar with the scriptures, remember Moses smoked the rock and the water came out. Moses took credit for it. And he never made it to see, you know what I'm saying, that promised land. But Christ didn't do that. Christ learned from the mistakes of Moses, which is what we should do. We should learn from the men of old. We should learn from the Old Testament. The mistakes that they made in their Bible, we can fix ourselves based on their mistakes. They made them and they were recorded for us to learn from. We should never make the same mistake twice. But we do. That's why we got to learn these scriptures. That's why we got to read about the men that come before us. That way you don't make the same mistake. You live vicariously through every prophet in the Old Testament. He tell you his story. He tell you his mistakes. So you can get a chance to fix it. So we can get a chance to fix it. That's what these old men are here for. That's what these old records are here for. So you don't fall victim to the same spirit they fell victim to. Right? So he went to the mountains himself alone and he left. Right? So verse 16. And when even was now come, so now he left until it was night. So when even was now come, his disciples went down into the sea and entered into a ship and went over the sea towards Capernaum, right? And it was now dark, and Yahushua was not come to them. And the sea arose by reason of great wind that blew. So the wind blew and the sea rose, right? Right. So when they had rowed about 25 or 30 furlongs, they see Yahushua walking on the sea and drawing nigh unto the ship, that they were afraid. And he said unto them, "It is I, be not afraid." And they willingly received him onto the ship, and immediately the ship was at the land whither they went. Right? So this brother right here, man. His faith was way further than these disciples' faith, right? Way further than a lot of our faith would ever be. You know what I'm saying? He trusted the Lord enough to where he knew that the Lord was gonna make sure he was good. And the people that roll with him, they just get the benefit. That's like you doing what's right in your house, and your daughter, and your son, and your mom, and your uncle, and your brother, and your kids, and all that. Your girl, they all reap the benefits of you doing what's right. You say no shrimp in the house, everybody got a chance to survive. You say no pork in the house, everybody got a chance to survive. You say we don't hang outside where they, doing whatever they doing, we're gonna go, You know what I'm saying, to class. You feel what I'm saying? And we're gonna go chill around the brothers. You don't put your family in danger. You feel what I'm saying? Whereas though anything can happen on your block that night. But if you at the school or you with, I mean, with the people of the Lord, you got a better chance on surviving. You know what I'm saying? This brother right here, just by him being so far in the spirit, it saved the disciples. It saved us. You know what I mean? All right, we want to drop that. Mm. Let's get Luke chapter 5, verse 1. Luke chapter 5, verse 1. All right. The book of Luke, chapter 5, verse 1. And it came to pass that as the people pressed upon him to hear the word of the Lord, he stood by the lake of Gennesaret and saw two ships standing by the lake, but the fishermen were going out of them and were washing their nets. So he had a harbor, right? And there's two boats on there. The fishermen ain't in the boats, they washing their net, right? And he entered into one of the ships, which was Simon's, and prayed him that he would thrust out a little from the land. And he sat down and taught the people out of the ship. And when Salagia, and when he had left speaking, he said unto Simon, launch into the deep and let down your nets for a drought. And Simon answered and said unto him, Master, we have toiled all the night and have taken nothing. Nevertheless, at thy word, I will let down the net. Right? So he told Peter, Simon, Salakia. I think this is actually Peter. It's Simon, right? So he says, um, so I think this is Peter. But he said, go into the deep and let down your net. And he was like, we've been doing this all night. We've been fishing all night. We was out here trying to find fish for a long time. It ain't no fish out there, sir. You know what I'm saying? And he like, listen, just go drop your net. He like, all right, kind of what kind. Nevertheless, because you asked me to, I'm gonna go drop my net. Verse 5 again. Simon answered and said unto him, Master, we have toiled all night and have taken nothing. Nevertheless, at thy word, I will let down our net. Real quick, I'm gonna check online and see if y'all got any questions. All right, all right, bet. So he said, nevertheless, at thy word I will let down the net. Verse 6. And when they had Slagia, and when they had this done, they enclosed a great multitude of fishes, and their net broke. And they beckoned unto their partners which were on the other ship, that they should come and help them. And they came and filled both ships, so they began to sink. So now Christ told them to go get some fish, whatever. They like, yo, we've been at this all night. We've been doing this all night. We can't find no fish. So they was like, all right, we're gonna listen to you. We're just gonna go out and drop on the net. So when they went out and dropped on the net, they got so many fish that it broke the net. And so now they like, damn, they trying to get the fish back on the boat, and the boat starts sinking. So they called somebody else to come help them, another boat, right? So verse 7, and they beckoned unto their partners which were in the other ship, that they should come and help them. And they came and filled both ships, so they began to sink. This is Peter. Verse 8, when Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Jesus, Yahweh's knees, saying, depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Lord. Right? So Peter like, damn, like he didn't have faith in the Most High. He didn't have faith that it could happen. So he was telling Christ, like, man, we've been doing this all night. We've been fishing all night. It ain't no fish out here. And Christ like, listen, just go put your net down. And he put the net down, and he at this point he like, damn. He went over to Christ. Verse 8. And when Simon saw Peter saw, and when Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Yahweh's knees, saying, "Depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Lord." Right? For he was astonished, and all that were with him, and the drought of fishes which they slug, and the drought of fishes which they caught had taken slug, and the drought slug. That's verse 9. Verse 9 again. He was astounded in all that were with him, and the drought of the fishes which they had taken. So they always astounded at Christ and how much fish that they brought up, right? Verse 10. And so was John and James, like, and so was James and John, the sons of Zebedee, which were partners with Simon. And Yahweh said unto Simon, "Fear not, from henceforth thou shalt catch men." So he said to Peter, like, yeah, you was a fisherman, like you was catching fish, but now we ain't catching fish no more. Now what we doing is we gonna do that same thing. I'm gonna show you how to get men. I'm gonna show you how to fish men, because when you was fishing before, you wasn't catching anything. What you was trying to catch before, the bait you had, it's like the bait you had, or the tactics or the skill that you had to catch men before, it wasn't working. Now follow me. I'll show you how to catch men. So many men that you won't even be able to. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's going to be too many men or too many people. That's the multitude. That's what Christ was trying to teach Peter. Like if you listen to the things that I'm gonna show you, the Lord's army will be exceedingly and great. Just follow me. And that's why Peter was like, "There, I was wrong." You know what I'm saying? I was wrong. Salakia. From this day forward, I know I've sinned. I didn't listen. Right? It's not about the fish. Salakia. Verse 11. And when they brought their ships to land, they forsook it all and followed him. They said, "Man, damn, we going with Christ." Verse 12. And it came to pass when he was in a certain city, behold, a man full of leprosy, who seeing Yahweh fell on his face and besought him, saying, "Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean." So, God damn, Salaki. So Christ saw this brother that had lepers. Lepers is like skin turning white, right? Old Testament say that leprosy is is unclean, and your hair turning gold is you being unclean. Hold on, let's get that. Good night. Let's get that. Leviticus chapter 13, verse 3. We're gonna hold Luke 5 and 12. Hold that for now. Leviticus 13 and 3. Let's draw right there. Leviticus chapter 13, verse 3. And the priest shall look on the plague in the skin of the flesh, and when the hair in the plague is turned white, and the plague in the sight be deeper than the skin of his flesh, it is a plague of leprosy. And the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean. So now when you get that skin, when your hair turn white, it's a lot. When your hair turn blonde and your skin turn white, you now unclean. You feel what I'm saying? The Lord, the Lord and the priest consider you unclean. So as your skin turn white and your hair turn blonde, you consider unclean. I'm gonna leave that there. You know what I mean? So it came to pass, verse 12. This is Luke chapter 5, verse 12. And it came to pass when he was in a certain city, behold, a man full of leprosy. So now his whole body is turning white, right? Who seeing Christ fell on his face and besought him and saying, Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean. Now Christ had already did a ton of things, right? So now he like, I know you can help me. If you will, so like if you could, can you make me clean? And he put forth his hand and touched him, saying, I will, be thou clean. And immediately the leprosy departed from him. Right. So he like, if you could, sir, please, can you make me clean again? Can you get this demon off me? He like, I got you. Right. And he said he told him to be clean. Now this is a mental thing. You know what I'm saying? Because now you can't think as if you leprous. You feel what I'm saying? Absolutely it's physical. But it's more of a mental thing, which is what Christ was teaching this whole time. Christ is teaching you how to be mentally strong. Like we know the law, you die for the wrong you've done. But Christ is telling you, don't do no more wrong. Like mentally prepare yourself to not even do the wrong. Because that's how you can change the people. You teach everybody to not do wrong, then nobody wants to do wrong. Whereas though in the law, you would do wrong and hope you get away with it. You would do wrong and pray that they don't find you, which is what we do today. But now we like, you know what? We just not gonna do it. That's what Christ was trying to teach us, to not do it instead of trying to beat the law or get away from the law or just saying, you know what? All right, if I do this, all I gotta do is give him 12 bulls and a I don't know, whatever. You feel what I'm saying? So Christ like, no, we're not doing that no more. So be thou clean. You know what I'm saying? And immediately the leprosy departed from him. And he charged him, tell no man, don't tell nobody about this, man. Like, look, be thou clean. And he's like, oh, damn. He said, listen, don't tell nobody about this. This is between me and you, right? Don't go out there and say, oh, Christ made me clean. Don't, come on, we ain't doing that. He said, but go and show thyself to the priest. Now, this is heavy, right? So Christ told this man to go show himself to the priest and offer for thou cleansing according as Moses commanded for a testimony unto them. So Christ just told this brother to follow the commandments of Moses, which also proved that Christ followed the scriptures. Christ listened to the Old Testament, read the Old Testament. Christ did what Moses said, which is why he followed Moses and said, go do what Moses commanded you to do. Moses commanded you to give a sacrifice to the priest. So go do what Moses told you to do, right? Christ followed the Bible to the T. He made sure he did it. He did the sacrifices of Moses, and he didn't deviate in any type of way. You know what I mean? So these Christians today tell you that the Old Testament done away with. If that's the case, then why did Christ say do what Moses commanded you to do? If the Old Testament was done away with, and Christ was done with the Old Testament, he came to wipe the Old Testament out. Why did Christ say do what Moses commanded you to do? You feel what I'm saying? Moses was dead and gone, right? So many years later, Christ telling you to do what Moses said. I mean, because Moses followed the laws. It's like Christ followed the law of Moses, right? Verse 15. But so much the more went there a fame abroad. It's like it. But so much the more went there a fame abroad of him. So now everybody's talking about him. Word traveling. A fame went abroad, which is overseas, outside of his local area. The fame is out there. And a great multitude came together to hear and to be healed by him of their infirmities. So they're like, damn, this, like, today people got all kind of sicknesses. People got scoliosis. People got who knows? People got you know, bad knees and uh head trauma, or babies are born with all kind of illnesses and diseases or whatever the case may be. So they like, this man can heal these diseases, so we're gonna go to him. Now this is the physician, this is the doctor, a medical doctor. When it speaks of doctors in the Bible, it's talking about the priests and prophets, which means today, granted, we do honor our physicians, but this shows or this proves that a lot of the ailments that you deal with are spiritual. A lot of the time we deal with problems that are mental. that you can fix by being clean mentally, right? The more and more you fix yourself mentally, the more and more these demons get off your back. The more and more these spirits leave you alone. Because we don't see what happened in the fourth dimension. If a brother's blind, that's a angel, or you know what I'm saying, a spirit covering his eyes. Christ would talk to those spirits. If a brother couldn't hear, that's a spirit covering his ears. Christ would talk to those spirits. You feel what I'm saying? So you being strong as you can be, being clean, and making sure you do the right thing, making sure you come around the people that's going to teach you how to do the right thing. That's how you can fight those demons. You fight those spirits, right? So a physician is a physician, but when the Bible speaks about physicians or people that can heal you, they're the prophets. They're the people that spoke the Lord's words. That's how we got clean. That's how we heal ourselves. That's our baptism. That's how we get better, by following Christ and following the Most High. All right. So verse 14, Luke chapter 5, verse 14. And verse 6, verse 15. But so much that more went a fame. Okay. Uh yeah, let's do verse 15. But so much more, but so much the more went there a fame of abroad of him, and great multitudes came together to hear and to be healed by him of their infirmities. And he withdrew himself into the wilderness and prayed. Once again, that's Christ spinning off and going somewhere where, you know what I'm saying, he could get a Lord his glory. You know what I mean? Christ wasn't that type of guy to take accountability um, for things that the Most High did. All right. Um. Oh, this one was heavy. Let's get Matthew chapter 17, verse 24. Matthew chapter 17, verse 24. Salakia. See if there's anybody in the chat. Salakia, sir, what we call albinos would be unclean? No, because the leprosy is when. That's a good question. Okay. Some brothers are just red bones. You know what I'm saying? Some people are just red bones. They just light skin. You feel what I'm saying? But albino, you can see leprosy. A person's skin that's brown, that's turning white. You see it all the time. People that have like a white spots in their skin. That's them becoming unclean. You know what I mean? Albino is just a light skinned brother, or a light skinned sister. You know what I mean? So, but the albino is the light skin, or them losing the pigment in their skin and their hair going blind. All right. I see y'all in the chat. Most High Christ. All right. So we're gonna where was we at? We're gonna get Matthew chapter 17, verse 24. All right. So let's before I go, I want to read about when he told Judas that he was going to betray him too. So don't let me forget that. If you can, put it in the chat. So this is, we're gonna read it. So Matthew chapter 17, verse 24. And when they were come to Capernaum, that they received tribute money, came to Peter and said, doth not your master pay tribute? So then they got the money and they come up to Peter like, yo, how come Christ ain't put his money in? Right? Don't he pay tribute? And he said yes. And when he went, it's like, and when he was coming to the house, Yahweh prevented him, saying, "What thinkest thou, Simon?" He like, what's going on, right? Of whom do the kings, of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute, right? So they like, so Christ checking them. He like, what are they taking tribute for? Who are they giving this money to? Where are they taking this money and giving it to? Are they taking it of the people and giving it to who? Right? So of their own children or of strangers. So they're like, who are taking this money from and where is it going to? And Peter said unto him, of strangers, Yahweh shall say unto him, then are the children free? Right? So Christ is cutting him, right? He like, so now they taking money from us, but we give them money all the time. We give them our service. We paying taxes to them, but we give them all our services. So then they asking him like, yo, Christ ain't gonna pay nothing, or Jesus ain't gonna pay nothing to us. You know what I'm saying? And like they taking the money from the strangers. And he like, so what? So what are we free? Or you feel what I'm saying? Or are the children free? You know what I'm saying? And so like, do the children not have to pay? So now watch this. So now, notwithstanding, lest we should offend them, go into the sea and cast a hook and take up a fish that's like it. Go into the sea and cast a hook and take up the fish that first cometh up. And when thou hast opened his mouth, thou shalt find a piece of money and take and give it unto them for me and for thee. So the people that don't have money and the people and me, myself, you're gonna go get that fish when you heat lock it. Now this is just heavy. This is heavy. So so they're asking Peter, where's Christ's tribute or where's Christ's portion, right? And he came into the room like, yo, they talking about you, they asking about you. And he like, well, who has to pay? Right? And so now Christ is like, okay, whoever don't have money, go to this water and throw their hook down into the water. And the first fish you pull up, the money is gonna be in the fish's mouth. Take that money and give it to them for me and for the people that don't have money. That right there is insane. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. So before we rule, I want to read about Judas. Let me get this story. Salakia. Salakia. Give me 1 second. John chapter 13. John chapter 13. John is such a heavy book. When y'all get a chance, just read the book of John. John is heavy. All right. We're just gonna read all of this because it's all heavy. We're gonna read all of this. We're gonna start at 13 and 1, but the scripture that we need is 27. I think so. 24. It's around there somewhere. All right. So we're gonna start from the beginning. John chapter 13, verse 1. Now before the feast of Passover, when Yahweh knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world into the Father, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them unto the end. And supper being ended, the devil having now put upon the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him. Yahweh knowing that the Father had given all the things into his hands, and that he had, it's like it, and that he was come from Yahweh, from the Most High, and went to like it, and went to God. He's come from God and went to God. He rises, so he come from the Lord, and then he's going back to the Most High, right? He rises from supper and laid aside his garments and took a towel and girded himself. After he poured water into a basin, he began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded. Right. So he took the towel off and started washing the disciples' feet. Right. So then cometh he to Simon Peter, and Peter saith unto him, Lord, dost thou wash my feet? And Yahweh said unto him, What I doest thou knowest not, but what thou shalt know herefore. It's like it. But that's like what I doest, it's like it. What I do, thou not Salakia. What I do, thou knowest not now, but thou shalt know hereafter. So what I'm doing, you don't understand it right now, but you're gonna get it soon, right? Peter said unto him, Thou shalt never wash my feet. Yahweh shall answer, If I wash thee, not thou hast put no part with me. So, right, if I wash thee not, like if I wash thee not, thou hast no part with me. So Christ is like he's a servant. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can't serve you, or if I can't do my service, like I call up the men above me all the time. You feel what I'm saying? I ring their phone all the time, and they're here for that reason. Just like the men call me and ring my phone. You know what I'm saying? So we all here for each other. So Christ, like if I can't be here for you, then I'm not here for you. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not. Y'all get that. Y'all get that, right? Peter said unto him, Thou shalt never wash my feet. Yahweh shall answer him, If I wash thee not, thou hast no part with me. Verse 9. Simon Peter saith unto him, Lord, not my feet only, but also wash my hands and my head. Yahweh shall saith unto him, He that is washed needeth not save to wash his feet, but is clean every whit. And ye are clean, but not all. Right? So he said, He that is washed needeth not to save to wash his feet, right? But it's clean every whit. So you clean everywhere. So he that is washed is clean everywhere, not just on his feet, right? Ye are clean, but not all. For he knew who should betray him. Therefore saith he, Ye are not all clean. So Christ is washing the feet, right? He like something's somebody's dirty. You know what I'm saying? And by him washing the feet, he's cleaning, seeking to to hmm, he's calling that demon. You know what I'm saying? He's calling that demon out, right? Verse 12. So after he had washed their feet, he had taken his garments and was sat down again. He said unto them, Know ye what I have done to you? Ye call me master and Lord, and ye say, Well, for so I am, right? For I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet. Ye also ought to wash one another's feet, right? So you keep each other clean. Just like I clean y'all and I made sure y'all clean, y'all got to keep each other clean, right? For I have given you an example that ye shall do as I have done unto you, right? Everything that I did for y'all got to make sure y'all do it for each other, which is why we here today, keeping that spirit alive. We making sure everybody has clean feet. You feel what I'm saying? Everybody, not physically, you feel what I'm saying? But we making sure everybody is clean. We making sure to wash each other up. And it's not just with the water, it's with the spirit, right? So he knew somebody was dirty, but he's washing them to make sure that they clean. And y'all got to do it to each other, or we got to do it amongst each other, keep each other good, right? Um, I'm trying to break this down to the best possible way, right? If I then, your master, verse 14, if I then, your Lord and master, have washed your feet, ye also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that ye shall do as I have done unto you. Verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord, neither he that is sent greater than he that sent him, right? So the servant doesn't outrank the master or the teacher, right? And Christ would never outrank the Lord. It's orders, the chain of commands, right? If ye know these things, happy are ye if ye do them, right? So Christ is telling them how we should like I watch like Christ like yo I watched your feet. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm a servant unto the Most High. I'm a servant into this work to this law. Y'all follow the Most High. I'm a servant unto y'all as well. You feel what I'm saying? That's what we here for. We here to serve the Lord, right? Verse 18. I speak not of you all. I know whom I have chosen, but that the scripture may be fulfilled. The scripture to be fulfilled is Christ was supposed to die, right? He that eateth bread with me have lifted up his heel against me. Now I tell you before it come, that when it come to pass, ye may deliver that I am he who is prophesied in the Old Testament, right? So now when it come to pass, then it's really going to be done, right? Verily, like remember, he that endureth to the end shall be saved, right? Verse 20. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that receiveth whomsoever I send receiveth me, and he that receiveth me have sent me, right? So he that receiveth me. So when you listen to this word of the Lord, you receive Christ, right? And you also receive the Most High who sent Christ. So by listening to the truth, you following the Lord. By following Christ, you following the Lord. You're doing what the Lord told you to do. By following the men who follow Christ, you're following the Lord, which is what Peter was writing about and Paul was writing about in everything. And James was writing about in Luke. I mean, not Luke, but Peter, the disciples was writing about in his next letters at the further on in the New Testament. Like you follow me, you following Christ, because we walk with Christ. We was there. So listen to me, just like I listen to Christ, just like Christ listens to the Most High. So that's what Christ is saying to them right now. Verse 21. And when Yahushua had thus said, he was troubled in spirit and testified and said, so he like, damn, look, watch this. Verily I say unto you, one of you shall betray me. So Christ sitting there, Christ sitting there, he like, yo, I already know one of y'all gonna backdoor me. One of y'all going stab me in the back. Right? Verse 22. Then the disciples looked upon one another, doubting of whom he spake. So they're like, damn, it ain't me. Right? It ain't me. Damn, they looking at all the 12 people that's there, and they weighing each other or considering each other. And they're like, damn. You know what I mean? So Christ, like, one of y'all gonna betray me. Right? But they don't know that this is really gonna happen like soon. Right? And Christ about to verse 23. Now there was leaning on Yahushua's bosom one of his disciples, whom Yahushua loved, Simon Peter, right? Therefore beckoned unto him, he told him that he should ask who it should be of whom he spake, right? So Peter like, which one of us you talking about? And he then lying on Yahushua's breast saith unto him, Lord, who is it? And Yahushua answered, Salakia, he it is to whom I shall give a sop when I have dipped it, right? Let me look and see what a sop is. Salakia. One second. So Bible Dictionary, a sop, page 563. A thin wafer used to dip food from a common platter. So it's like a bread that you like a cracker or something that you dip like in like hummus or you know what I mean, guacamole or something, right? So he said after it's like you sop is like how you pick something up, like you sop up the soup with the bread, right? So verse 26, and Yahweh answered, he it is to whom I shall give a sop when I dipped it. So boom, I'm gonna give it to him. And when he had dipped the sop, he gave it to Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon, right? And after the sop, Satan entered into him, right? So now he dipped the sop and gave it to Judas, and Judas like, oh shit, I'm gonna lock it. So now Satan was in there. Satan, that was Satan's in, right? He saw that, he was like, okay, he must know, right? And Yahweh Shah answered unto him and said, that thou doest, do quickly. No man at the table knew for what intent he spake unto thus. So nobody really knew what he was saying, because Judas probably already had it in motion. Judas probably already had Christ on the cross by now. You never know how far along he was with his, with his conniving activities. So once he dipped and gave it to Judas, Judas knew what time it was. The spirit was on Judas at that point. He was like, damn, he know. That's why he told him, like, do it quickly, right? For some, it's like verse 29. For some of them thought, because Judas had the bag, that Christ had said unto him, buy those things that we need of against the feast, or that should like it, or that he should give something to the poor, right? So they thinking he like do it quickly, like they think he telling Judas to go do something, right? Like go hurry up and get the food for Passover or give something to the poor, right? Verse 30. He then, having received the sop, went immediately out, and it was night. So Judas got the sop and he just left. Christ was like, "Yo, what you want to do? Just do it quickly, right?" And Judas, Satan jumped on his back. He took that sop and he left. You know what I'm saying? But Christ already knew what was going down. Christ already knew what was about to happen. And then after that, he talked about Peter, how Peter going to deny him, and Peter was like, "No, I'm not." He's like, "You want to hear the bird crow, the cock crow 3 times, or the crow called 3 times?" You know what I'm saying? And people came to Peter and was like, "Yo, Peter." So when they came to get Christ, they cut Christ's ear off. You feel me? Or they cut Peter cut the dude ear off. Boom. You know what I'm saying? And the same bull who Peter cut his ear off came back and was like, "Yo, you the one that cut my ear off. You the one that was with Christ." And Peter was like, "No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me." And he denied it 3 times. You know what I'm saying? So those are just few of the miracles, or few of the things that Christ did that men saw and was like, "Yo, this guy is something else. This guy is superhuman." But we see these things done every day. Like when you see a brother get off of crack and fix himself up and put on a shield, grab a Bible and walk into this door, that's a miracle, brother. When you see a brother get out of his hell, out of his captivity, whatever his mental state of mind is, when he free himself and walk through that door, that's a miracle. The scriptures say the angels rejoice when you come to class. You know what I'm saying? When you walk into that door, the angels rejoice, or the angels they gonna throw a party every time you come to class, because Satan is ready to dig his claws in your back. Satan ready to devour you in these streets, but you choose to walk through all the hell to come to class. You walk through all the needles and the baggies and the blunt wraps and the cigarette packs and the women. You walk past all the things that's going to keep you from this class, and you make it to that door. The angels rejoice, brother, when you walk in that class. You sit down and you learn by the men that's here to teach you. The angels rejoice because you in your mind know that you've overcome 1,000 things to knock on that door, to walk up those steps, to come to class. You overcome thousands of things to get to class. Satan knows what he's doing. He's good at his job, but it's up to you to defend Satan. It's like it's up to you to defeat Satan in your mind. You can't let Satan win. Satan will try you every day. He gonna come through everything you love. He gonna come through everything you don't love. He gonna pop up out a bag of chips. Satan is everywhere, everywhere, and his goal is to keep you out of these seats, out of these ranks. You feel what I'm saying? So you fight Satan just like Christ did. And we could have been here until Christ came back talking about the things that Christ did. You know what I'm saying? We could have been here forever talking about how amazing and the beautiful the work was that Christ did. You feel what I'm saying? But that's up to you to go read it. It's up to you to find out who the men are that you following. That's up to you to decide if this is what you want to do. Because other than that, Satan got his work for you. Satan got work for you to do. Go do his work. You ain't got to be in here doing his work. You feel what I'm saying? If you're going to do the work of the Lord, then do it. Do it. Don't be lukewarm. Do what the Most High wants you to do. Your first step is to come to class. Your first step is to get into these classes. Open up that Bible and read it and talk to the men above you about how to break it down. That's your first step. Learn about these men and then you go teach it. That's what we were sitting here to do. Bring back the 12 tribes of Israel. Bring them back to the Lord and get us out of this captivity. You don't like going to work in the morning? You don't like waking up at 5:30? Then come to class. Oh, you don't like child support? Come to class. Oh, you don't like give me another one. Give me something else. Shit. You don't like this kingdom, this place we living in? Come to class. The only way to devour this kingdom is to be here. Because then we can teach everybody how to fight against it. How to fight against this kingdom. Listen, with that being said, we the Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge, out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brothers and sisters. If a new brother or sister comes to the class, they off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves to the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months period, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they must seek counsel from the heads. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10 means 10th in Hebrew. My Asherah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord give you. UPK.com. And the Zelle or talk to your camp leader. Free will offering for the priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give or whatever size bottle. Upcoming Holy Convocation. Feast of Dedication, which is December 5th at sundown. Hanukkah, talk about how the Lord, you know what I'm saying, freed us out of that Greek captivity, which is a race war in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? It's an absolute race war. The Lord came up against the Greeks and gave us our freedom and got us out of the boot of Antiochus Epiphanes and all of them dragons. You know what I mean? So December 5th is the Feast of Hanukkah, upcoming Holy Convocation. Cookout coming up. 2 weeks, man. I.S.U.P.K. Houston, South Texas cookout coming up in 2 weeks. Man, look, we got a donation up on GoFundMe. So go to anybody in Houston page, myself, Shapat, Malakwaf, Tazadak, anybody page in Houston, find that GoFundMe, man. Drop some money in the jar so we can get these lamb, chickens fresh out the farm, and whatever else they make on farms. I'm from the city. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, Min Israel Majim. We're gonna give one courtesy salute. Min Israel Majim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahal Ba Shem Yahshua Brakathum, Yajim Matah, Saw, which means turn. Men of Israel won't get a sisters one courtesy salute. Men of Israel Majim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Al Athar Ba Shem Yahshua, Yajim Matah, class dismissed.